Hello and welcome along to episode 57 of the All Things Leeds podcast with myself, Ed McIntyre, and joining me as ever is my co-host, Charles Foster. Hello.
Hi mate, you alright?
Yeah, you?
Yeah, I'm sound. I'm very pleased this week because we've had a good week on the pitch anyway.
Yeah, it's been a good week on the pitch, hasn't it? Yeah. Have you been well? You had a nice week? Illness free?
Yeah, I've not had any illnesses, which is
no coronavirus yet?
No, thankfully not. Although
you are going to Italy in a few weeks, though, aren't you?
Yes. Well, I don't know. We don't know. It's a bit up in the air at the moment. We may or may not go, depending on certain things.
It's very bad, isn't it, the coronavirus? But at least none of us are ill at the moment, which is great.
Yeah, that's the good news.
Well, in this episode, we'll, of course, be discussing Leeds United's 1-0 win away at Middlesbrough last Wednesday night before looking back on last Saturday's 4-0 win for Leeds away at Hull City. We'll also discuss how the under-23s and women's side have got on this week, as well as look at some other news coming out of Elland Road this week. Before looking ahead to Leeds United's next game, that sees them take on Huddersfield Town in this Saturday's West Yorkshire derby at Elland Road. This is the All Things Leeds podcast. Well, let's start with last Wednesday night's game, shall we? Let's just brush over it really quickly. Leeds United, of course, beating Middlesbrough 1-0 away at the Riverside Stadium. Now, this wasn't a spectacular game, Charles. It certainly wasn't a classic, but job done in the end.
Yeah, it was. It was a kind of just get the job done kind of game because they're down the bottom end of the table, looking like they're having a bit of a nightmare of a season. Johnny Woodgate appears to be not really getting as many points out of them, given the quality of squad they've got. And we didn't have the greatest performance, but we put some nice moves together and we got the good goal. So we just had to, at this point in the season, you just got to win the games and then move on, don't you? It's
the 3 points that matters.
It's not Bristol City at the start of the season away where we're putting on kind of spectacular displays and focusing a lot more on performances. It's just a bit attritional at the moment. You just got to get through it.
Yeah.
Get it done.
And we definitely got through this game and got it done. Of course, Marcelo Bielsa was forced into making a change. Bavardi came in for the injured Calvin Phillips. He played at centre-back with Ben White moving into a central defensive midfield. Thoughts on Bavardi? I felt he had a good game myself.
Generally good. I think there was one point in the second half where he flew into a tackle, which I thought that was definitely a yellow. A bad referee would give a red, and this referee was so poor for both teams, he didn't even give it as a foul. I did notice that the referee was kind of very poor for.
Yeah.
Thing is, I don't mind it when referees are poor if they're consistently poor for both teams, which this referee was. To be fair, he was terrible for Middlesbrough and terrible for us.
Yeah, I mean Gavin Ward, he certainly let a lot go, didn't he?
Yeah,
probably let too much go.
Adam Clayton had about 5 fouls that. He should have definitely. He eventually did get a booking later on, but he should have had a booking a lot earlier.
Yeah.
It was kind of Middlesbrough's plan once they realised how lenient the referee was going to be, just to kind of smash Leeds at every time we got on the ball.
But Bavardi, though, I felt he did a really good job. Definitely one of my man of the match nominations. I put out on Twitter when All Things Leeds after the game, the man of the match who people wanted, who people thought was the man of the match from the game. And the options were Mateusz Klich, Gaetano Bavardi, Stuart Dallas and Jack Harrison. Who do you think won it?
I think Brady probably won it.
Nah, Mateusz Klich.
Did he win it? To be honest, I wouldn't have given it to either of them. I'd have given it to Jack Harrison. I was impressed with his performance against Middlesbrough.
Yeah, I thought it was really good.
He was on the books of Middlesbrough for a bit when he was sent out on loan there, and Pulis didn't like him, but then again, Pulis didn't like Serge Gnabry, and now he's scoring goals against Arsenal and Tottenham in the Champions League. So
a lot of people wanted me to put Patrick Bamford in the man of the match nominations. I didn't think he had a good game. He missed quite a lot of sitters.
He's not. He's just kind of tidying himself along at the moment. He's not doing much as Bamford in the games. He's still doing all his kind of off the ball work and his pressing and stuff, but he's not. Some games he's not getting the opportunities. I don't think he got many opportunities in this game, and the one he did. Well, one of the ones he did, he forced a decent save with one effort, I think in the first half. And
that header?
No, not about the header. He probably should have scored that.
He should have.
he blasted one effort past the near post, and then he forced a save. But I'm on about the one where in
the second half
when it kind of trickled into him, but Ryan shot and kind of got a touch on it and knocked it up into his knee, and it was a bit of a fortunate bounce to land right in the goalkeeper's hands. But that's just sometimes the way it goes. And Bamford's luck at the moment is not in. So
no, so he's not got the rub of green at the moment, has he?
No.
But Bother just came at us in this game, but they lack quality, and you could tell that we were the better side, really, in terms of the quality of.
They got in some
play.
good positions. They got into a bit of space in the midfield and getting into and running it as a bit there, lad down the left hand side, some kind of a winger, a young winger. I can't remember. Is it Coulson maybe or something like that?
Yeah.
Whoever they had on the left wing, it was a young lad. He was quite good. He was giving Luke Ayling a bit of a difficult game. But they got to the final third. And it's a bit like watching us when we're in one of our worst patches, where they just didn't know what to do. They were just passing the ball, they were putting in poor crosses, or it was getting intercepted, or we just defend it well. It wasn't really. Jonathan Woodgate mentioned it after the game, saying they just didn't really take advantage of any of their opportunities. And
yeah, they just struggled to create anything, didn't they? And what are they expecting with Ashley Fletcher playing up front? What are they expecting from that?
Yeah, they just weren't that. And they're playing Johnny Howson at right back as well.
Yeah, it's so weird, isn't it?
Very odd.
So the question is whether he could play defensive midfield for Leeds. And now he's playing right back. Which is just extraordinary, isn't it?
Bit of the Stuart Dallas there.
But Bamford, he missed a free header though, didn't he? Midway through the first half, 5 yards out. Definitely should have done better there for me.
Really good movement though to get to kind of beat the offside shot, getting a brilliant position, and just such a unconvincing header. I think that's the kindest way to put it. Unconvincing header, just straight towards the goalkeeper. It was a good chance, and we could have gone 1-0 up a bit earlier on. Yeah,
but of course we went 1-0 up. Just before half time, a great move all started by Mateusz Klich, who sent Bamford through, played the ball across to Hernandez, whose shot came out off the right post. It was up in the air, Ayling controlled it, played it to Klich, who played it to Pablo, back to Klich, who finished really well into the bottom corner. Great goal.
Yeah, the thing is, Klich hit the post as well. We're constantly hitting the post. I mean, but yeah, this was a really good goal. It's a great interception by Klich on the halfway line. I think it's George Friend who gives it away, kind of a weak kind of poor pass. He gets picked up and he puts Bamford through. Bamford, who I don't know, it's lack of confidence or whatever, gives it over to Hernandez on the other side. I think
any other striker would have probably took down themselves.
If you're giving that through ball to Mitrovic or Lewis Grabban, they're running in and having a shot there.
Yeah, definitely.
Because they're obviously in a bit more confident than he is at the moment. But he gives it to Hernandez. Great effort from Hernandez. It's the post though, a bit unfortunate. Middlesbrough with the really dodgy clearance, just straight up in the air.
Yeah, just straight up, wasn't it? Yeah.
And then we win the second ball, and it's just a good one too. It's just good. Just a good bit of football. Just good football. Just a good move. Really good
football. Really good goal. Now 4 league goals for Klich this season. 5 in all competitions. It was 1-0 to Leeds at half time. Could have been 2 or 3-0 really with a chance to be created. Should we have had a penalty in the first half as well? Adam Clayton took down Helder-Koffs in the box, didn't he?
I thought that was soft. I wouldn't have given that. And I'd have been annoyed if that was given against us.
Yeah.
The one in the second half on Jack Harrison was much more convincing.
Oh yeah,
he just trips him.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah,
as he's running into the box, which it's just a blatant penalty. The referee doesn't see it, but it is a penalty.
Yeah. Bother came out as in the second half. It was quite nervy at times, really. Marcus Tavernier hit the bar midway through the second half. As we mentioned, Bamford missed that sitter, didn't he? Which he definitely should have done better at. And another penalty shout for Leeds. But of course, we held on to win 1-0. Another 3 points on the board, which kept us in the top 2 and made it 3 wins in a row. 4 games unbeaten. Put us in a good stead heading into Saturday's game away at Hull City, which we'll move on to now, shall we? So Leeds United, of course, thrashed Hull City 4-0 away at the KCOM Stadium. Phillips, of course, straight back in, had another good game, and it was a great start from Leeds, wasn't it? Went 1-0 up on 5 minutes. Luke Ayling's deflected shot, which flew straight into the back of the net. Fortunate, but sometimes you need a bit of luck, don't you?
Very, very, very lucky. I mean, I think it was summed up Hull's luck more than it summed up ours. That Luke Ayling kind of hits it, and it just swerves so. I know it's so much curve on it, and it just curves bottom. Keeper can't get near it. It's really lucky goal. But it's nice to go 1-0 up inside 5 minutes. And, and then you realise that Grant McCann's best laid plans are now in like massive danger. Now he's got to actually try and beat us at a game of football, which not many teams can do.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was really good.
Yeah, really good to score early on as well, wasn't it? Settled everyone's nerves, because we hadn't had that for a while, have we, scoring early on? I think, is that our earliest score this season?
One of them, yeah.
Yeah, definitely one of them. But a really nice score early on. How important was it, do you think, to go 1-0 up so early on in the game?
Well, it's nice, because when you got a team like Hull, which are down there, losing games, kind of a lot of injuries, kind of no confidence, it's good to just beat him, just beat him to the floor immediately. Going to get off to a brilliant start, and because you could see the Reds kind of dropped a bit. I mean, they came back into it during the first half. It was a fairly dull first half.
Oh, yeah,
I mean,
much so.
Pablo had a really good effort, which hit the kind of.
Hit the bar.
I don't know, it hit the bar or the top of the post. One of them. It kind of
definitely aimed for the top corner. Would have been fantastic if it went in.
Really good goal. It would have been a really good goal, yeah. But after that, it was kind of a bit even, bit scrappy. We kept all of the ball, but didn't really do much damage. They didn't really do anything at all.
Well, quite frankly, it was a pretty boring game after that. We went 1-0 up. Pablo hit the bar, and then after that, for the remaining 35 minutes of the first half, it was just dull, wasn't it? Nothing happened.
Yeah, well, it wasn't a
certainly wasn't a classic. Yeah.
Jinx.
Luke Ayling, though, his celebration, I love it. I love his celebrations.
His extremely questionable chicken celebration.
He just loves the celebration, doesn't he?
It's not as funny as his Mbappe one against Birmingham when we won the game.
And it was an own goal as well.
He didn't even score it.
He didn't even get no shot on target. It was
it was his cross that got turned in, but so it was his cross which led to the goal. But it's still his Mbappe celebration.
Goal machine, Luke Ayling, isn't he? But yeah, really important score early on. Goals change games, and when it comes so early, then it changes the entire game really. But yeah, really dull. First half, after we went 1-0 up, nothing really happened, but second half was just incredible from Leeds. Absolutely incredible.
Yeah, it was just a lot. We just had a bit more about us, we had a lot more pace about us, and once again, I think this is another crucial point, how early in the second half we scored.
Yeah.
They gave up once we scored the second. You could see it.
Yeah. So we went 2-0 up on 47 minutes. Really nice goal, this one as well. Held across the set of Pablo Hernandez, who finished well first time.
It was a cross from Jack Harrison on the left, which I don't know why this happened, but Bamford just kind of decked it in the middle of the box. It flew over everyone. It kind of got nodded, and Costa brings it down and spots Hernandez in a really brilliant position, to be fair, because you could quite easily be offside there if you're not careful. I think Hull's defensive line was a bit dodgy there. They should have been a bit straighter. But he lays him through, and it's just first time finish, bottom corner. It's just
really, really good finish.
It's good because Pablo had a fairly average game, but he was crucial to. He scored that, and he was crucial to the rest of the goals. He was involved in a lot of the build up, a lot of the better passages of play. So it's kind of a fixture of Hernandez's game, particularly this season, where he doesn't have the greatest games, and then we'll just chip him with a great goal, and then you forgive him immediately.
I thought he had a pretty good game. Really good goal, this one, though. 2-0 up early on in the second half. Again, really important because, at half-time it was 1-0. Going into the second half, Hull would have thought, it's 1-0 down, we can get back into this. I think they missed a header, didn't they? A free header just before we went 2-0 up as well.
Yeah, I think it was from a corner. Or a free...
from the corner,
And Meslier caught it easily, straight at him. And then we just scored immediately. About a minute and a half later, we were celebrating scoring.
And that just killed the game, really, didn't it? Leeds created many chances, too many to list off, really. The best one, though, was definitely Jack Harrison's curling effort from miles out. Ended up hitting the bar. What a goal this would have been.
Yeah, I think that came from a short corner. He got passed out to him. He just took it in a bit and hit the bar. That was really good effort. His other one where he dribbled through three players and forced a really good save at the near post. That was good. That one where Click kind of backheels it into Elder Costa's path. That weird little shimmy thing he did where he basically made Pennington fall into their other centre back. It's funny to see Matt Pennington again as well. And even funnier to put 4 goals past him. That would have been a brilliant goal, but he didn't quite get past the goalkeeper. Their goalkeeper had a really good game, probably their man of the match, because it could have been about 7 or 8
They conceded 4 goals.
Yeah, but that's how poor they were.
Their best player, certainly not man of the match for the entire game. Obviously.
I like that big guy they brought on towards the end. I don't know whether his name was. I think he's Eastern European, big lad. They brought him on in the second half. He was the guy who hit the post. He had he was holding the ball up quite well, and it was him who got. It was. In a bit, for the third goal, when we were trying to make a bit of a move, Jack Harrison robbed a possession and then set us off on. So, yeah, he was decent. He was kind of their best chance was hitting the post, wasn't it? Really, and that was it. That's all they did all game. I can't remember another time where we were really under pressure. Yeah,
that really was it, wasn't it? Patrick Bamford, of course, replaced by Tyler Roberts on 67 minutes. A great change from Bielsa, as of course Roberts made it 3-0 on 81 minutes. A really awesome goal, this one. Bielsa ball at its best, really, here. So Harrison Phillips won the ball in the left back position. Harrison Played a nice 1-2 with Dallas on the left. Harrison then played it to Roberts.
That kind of chip ball over from Dallas into Harrison's path.
So nice. And then Harrison's first touch. Jack first touch Harrison. Brilliant first touch. Played it to Roberts, who switched it to the right to Helder Costa. He then sprayed it out to Click, who was in the box on the left, and he teed it up for Roberts, who ended up scoring. What just fantastic goal.
Great move, but like I do have to pick one hole in it because not our play, but Hull's defensive play. I mean, Click having that much space on the left-hand side of the box, all their defenders rushed Helder Costa, and then Click was in miles of space. But then he obviously lays it off. It's a really good finish from Tyler Roberts, who nearly boots Stuart Dallas in the ankles.
I thought Click had messed this chance up, really, with that layoff, because I couldn't see anyone there running towards it. I just thought, he's taken a poor touch there. He's messed it up. Hull are going to clear it here, but thankfully he didn't. And Tyler Roberts finished it superbly. Yeah,
it was my favourite goal of the game. It was a really good
definitely. Goal. I can't tell you how many times I've watched that back. It's just an incredible goal.
Yeah, it got shared a lot on Twitter by other fans of other clubs as well.
And you heard some other commentary as well from this foreign commentary, where they just go
Oh, the Spanish commentary, yeah.
Someone put Phil Hayes' tweet if it was in commentary mode. But yeah, fantastic goal to make it 3-0, and then Tyler Roberts made it 4-0. 3 minutes later, Click with a great ball over the top two Roberts, whose diving header beat George Long in the goal.
VAR does rule that goal offside.
Oh yeah, it was
in
offside.
My opinion.
Yeah, it was offside, wasn't he?
It is. I think his foot and his head are slightly offside. It would be in the Premier League. You wouldn't get that goal given.
Yeah.
But this is the Championship, and we've got terrible linos. So, and it was a really good goal as well.
Gorgeous ball and gorgeous diving header.
Cross from midfield from Click comes over and just heads it back where it comes from. Brilliant goal. Keeper don't even move.
Yeah, I tell you what, I just love diving headers. It's just something about him, just witnessing someone just leap into the air, just dive into the air and head it in. Just brilliant.
Just satisfying goals, aren't they?
Yeah, really, really nice goal. This one to make it 4-0, and Leeds held on to win 4-0. Brilliant game. Fourth consecutive win for Leeds, 5 unbeaten. Results went our way last weekend as well. West Brom lost 1-0 at home to Wigan.
Fair result, that, apparently, as well. Apparently Wigan played really well. And West Brom were awful.
I mean, it's just what happens, isn't it? Wigan beating good teams 1-0 away, doesn't it?
Yeah, I still can't wrap my head around that, but we'll move on. They've done us a favour. I'll forgive them for this season. I won't forgive them for last season because that still annoys me now.
Oh yeah, but they did us a favour here.
Yeah.
Cardiff drew 2-2 at home with Brentford. Good result for that one for us. Millwall drew 1-1 with Bristol City, so I think Bristol City they're not gonna worry us.
No, their playoffs are best now.
Yeah.
I think Forest are as well, personally. Yeah. But I look forward to that coming back to bite me.
And Middlesbrough drew 2-2 with Nottingham Forest. And we said it last week, didn't we? We'd beat Middlesbrough, and Middlesbrough will hopefully beat Nottingham Forest. And they almost did. They were 2-1 up at half-time, weren't they? But ended up joining.
I hate Lewis Grabban. I really do. He scores such kind of lucky, dodgy goals.
Yeah. Such as against us in our first home game.
When he fouled someone on the halfway line and then shouldered it on the top. If it wasn't even a shoulder, he palms it, kind of elbows it into goal. And it gets given.
Yeah.
While Stuart Dallas is getting his ankles booted off in the opposition penalty area to no avail.
But yeah, results went our way at the weekend. Good result for Leeds there. We remain second in the Championship table on 68 points, 1 point behind league leaders West Bromwich Albion, and 5 points ahead of Fulham in third with 10 games to go. Starting to believe?
I'm not going to believe until we actually have the trophy and we're on Match of the Day, mate. That's when I'll believe. No, I don't take anything for granted. And I did see someone tweet that I think it was like a week or 10 days ago. We were 1-0 down to Brentford, and I think they were a point above us at that point, and now we're 12 points above Brentford.
It's incredible, isn't it?
Which is just insane how many points they've dropped.
It is absolutely insane. But 10 games to go. How many wins now do you think?
Well, I think if we get 6 wins out of 10, I think Fulham need 9. So they need 27 points out of 30, which is pretty unfeasible.
Yeah.
So we basically need 6 wins out of 10 games.
Yeah, I think 6.
Which does not sound unreasonable.
I think 6 or 7 wins would see us up.
7 would definitely do it.
And 8 or 9 wins would see us win the league.
It's hard to win 9 games, though, mate.
Yeah, very, very difficult, yeah.
I mean, we'd have to go on a kind of mad win streak.
But I do think 8 or 9 wins will see us win the league. I don't think it'll happen. But 6 wins, 7 wins, that will definitely see us up. So last season, finished third, 83 points. Sheffield United, I think, won 86 points, but they would have gone up with 84. So I think 84 points is the minimum we need, really, to go up.
Yeah. You don't feel like it's going to take much to get in the top 2 this year with regards to points. I think it'd be kind of low to mid 80s will get you top 2 because of how inconsistent everyone else is. So all you got to do is we just kind of hope that Fulham just fall off. That Fulham game is looking bigger and bigger by the day, depending on how the next couple of games go.
But there's 2 games to play before we take on Wigan at home, and we're 5 points ahead of them now, so we could be 11 points.
Wigan at home.
Or Fulham at home, rather.
Right.
But right now we're 5 points ahead of him. By the time that game comes around, we could be 11 points ahead of him. So
that's providing we win both of our games and they lose both of theirs, which is unlikely.
Yeah, but
I think that they should pick up.
It's certainly a big game. Would you say it's a decider?
I think they'll pick up 4 points in their next 2 games, so I think we just need to win both ours.
Would you say it's a decider, that game against Fulham?
I think if they pick up 4 points or less from their next 2 games and we win both ours and then we beat them, I think the league will be done. I can't see them coming back from that. I can't see, because we'll be kind of between 8 and 10 points clear of them by that point, with 7 games to go, 6-7 games to. Once you get to more points clear you are than games left, you know you're in kind of. If you're 8 points clear with 7 games to go, you know you're in kind of safe territory because you can afford to drop a point a game, and then you know you're pretty much up. It would take a spectacular collapse to not do it from this point. And if there's one club capable of spectacular collapses with 10 games left, it's this one.
I'm really nervous. You know what? I actually don't know how I feel, because I think we're going to go up now. As I say, 6-7 wins will definitely see us up, and I think we'll do that. How does it feel? How does it feel for you?
Just horrible. I just want it to be over. It's supposed to be fun watching football.
Yeah,
isn't it? It's just not fun, is it?
It's really nervy, isn't it? I just don't know what I feel. I mean, I don't know what I feel when Leeds actually go up.
You don't know till
I know I'll be happy.
You don't know till it happens.
Yeah, I know. And hopefully it does happen. Of course, Leeds move on to Saturday's West Yorkshire derby against Huddersfield Town at Elland Road. We'll be previewing that game later on in the show. But first, let's look at how the Leeds United other teams have got on this week, starting with the women's team, who were in action last Sunday, and they beat Chorley 1-0 away at the JMO Sports Park, thanks to a goal from Emily Cassidy. Danaher's side have now gone 8 games unbeaten, which is just fantastic stuff. And the Leeds United 23s, they were meant to be facing Barnsley away at Oakwell last Friday, but that game was postponed after a pitch inspection due to the weather. That game will now take place on Monday the 9th of March at 2 p.m.
It feels like the under-23s haven't played a game in about 3 weeks.
They haven't, have they? Just the awful weather. But weather's improved now, hasn't it? Weather's improved.
Yeah,
been
a little
getting
bit.
Sunshine.
We're getting there.
Plenty of vitamin D.
You'd hope so, wouldn't
you? Moving on to some news then, and of course the big news is that 33-year-old Spanish goalkeeper Kiko Xe has been handed an 8-game ban and a £60,000 fine by the FA after being found guilty of racially abusing Charlton Athletics 20-year-old forward Jonathan Lecco during Leeds' 1-0 loss to Charlton away at the Valley on the 20th of September 2019, breaching FA Rule E3. Now, the news of the ban came out on Friday night, which caused a bit of controversy because it was announced at around 7 p.m, approximately 17 or 18 hours before the game against Hull on Saturday, and it had no report with it, so there were no context until the FA released a full report on Tuesday. Now, obviously, we won't stay on this for too long. We don't want to say too much about it. We don't want to get ourselves in trouble. It's obviously great that the FA are tackling racism, but Charles, do you think they could have gone, about this one a bit better and done it at a better timing? Do you think?
Yeah, I think there's certainly issues with the process, and I think both Charlton and Jonathan Lecco and Leeds and Casilla have pointed out that it's taken 5 months to get from the incident to the actual kind of FA tribunal. That seems unacceptable. So surely you'd want it resolved within. Obviously, these things take time to kind of gather evidence and kind of create your case. But beyond a month or 2 seems excessive to me.
Yeah,
it seems like it will not take that much time to sort this out. And then if he's guilty, then serve the ban. If he's innocent, then obviously not. There's issues with the process. He got given an 8-game ban instead of a 6-game ban because it was an aggravated breach because the regulatory commission, the independent regulatory commission that did the tribunal, felt that one of his defences was not. He said he didn't have any knowledge of the
N-word.
N-word, yeah, the word used.
So that added 2 games onto the ban, didn't it?
Yeah, so that's why it's an aggravated breach instead of just a breach. Because if he'd have just been found guilty and not said that, but it's just a really kind of horrible situation. It kind of puts a bit of a stain on. This is the club's best season in 10 years.
Yeah,
and it's kind of it's not
overshadowed.
It's not overshadowed. It's not spoiled, but it's a kind of black mark on it, and it'll be, instead of being seen as that season that Bielsa took Leeds up, it'll be seen as that season where Bielsa took Leeds up with a racist goalkeeper.
Yeah.
That's how. I'm not saying that's how I view it. I'm saying that's how the media will view it. That's how other clubs will view it.
Yeah, it is, really bad. I agree with you. It should have been done a lot earlier. Of course, Phil Hay in his podcast, Phil Hay Show, was saying that the clubs, it wasn't a great time for clubs in terms of football and transfers. Of course, you need to build up a case, but it definitely could have been done, in November or December. Yeah, definitely should have been done earlier. I don't agree with the timing. 17 hours before the whole game with no context, because one, that's too short notice before a game, because if the club hadn't have known, apparently they did know, but if they hadn't have known before it was announced that it was banned, then they would have prepared for the whole game to have NkGhTg in. And with no context as well, it just drove everyone mad. It drove everyone to create their own speculations and rumours, really. And I just thought it was pretty stupid. I feel as though why not get everything ready and release it together the following week?
Yeah, because if you leave an absence of information, that social media is just going to fill that vacuum with what a kind of assumption, and people inadvisedly, rightly or wrongly choosing a side of an argument, and you shouldn't really do that until you have all the information. It seems seems silly to do that, and it did lead to that. Led to quite a lot of arguments, a lot of kind of negativity and kind of bad feeling on social media. It was just bad, and it's just a really horrible situation.
Yeah.
I mean, Kiko's defence, from what you read from the report,
wasn't great, was it?
It's not great.
It wasn't good reading, was it?
It didn't read positively towards him as a player, and obviously the FA took his character into account. That's why the FA wanted a 12-match ban. The IRC felt that 8 was sufficient because of his previous character and where people spoke up for him. But when you've got Eddie Nketiah, who was playing for Leeds at the time, giving evidence against him, you've got 2 people, you've got Macaulay Bourne and Jonathan Lecco giving evidence against him. Of course, you'll never know because there's no recording equipment on players, so we can never be 100% sure.
Yeah, I mean, we know that there's footage of Charlton players turning back and reacting to something.
He's still denying it. He's still completely denies it.
Yeah.
So it's really a bit of a minefield, really, to discuss it.
Now, we've all seen the report, haven't we? I'm sure everyone who's listening or watching right now has also seen the report. But if you haven't, we obviously won't be going through all 62 pages here. We'll leave that to you to find out. Although Daniel Chapman on Moscow White on Twitter put a thread on Twitter explaining everything, in short. So read that, because that kind of explains it all, really, in about 5 tweets. But yeah, it doesn't make good reading for the club and fans at all, really. Bounce probability, of course, questionable format. A lot of people don't agree with it, but reading the report, you can understand the verdict, really.
The FA said that the evidence greatly surpassed the balance of probability, though they did put that in their report. So
yeah. Reading the report,
you take from that what you will.
Yeah, you understand the verdict, don't you? Balancing everything up. But yeah, NkGhTg now banned for 8 games. It'll be interesting to see if he will play for Leeds again this season and again in the future as well. But now we've got Elland in goal. Need to stick by him. Of course, his first league start against Hull, kept a clean sheet, didn't he? Thoughts on Elland from that game?
I have a lot more confidence in him from set pieces and on corners and balls into the box. He seems a lot more confident catching the ball. He made some...
Because he's very tall.
Yeah, well, I think he's... I don't know how tall he is. I think he might be 6'5", 6'6". He's very, very tall.
It's like a spider.
Yeah, he's the spider. He's a really good keeper. His distribution wasn't quite on on it.
Compared to the Arsenal game,
Compared to the Arsenal game,
good.
yeah, in the whole game. But it is his league debut. There's obviously a lot of scrutiny on him at the moment, a lot of pressure. Sky had bloody cameras in his face all day. I don't know if anyone watched the game on Sky. There was panning to Meslier at every given opportunity.
Yeah.
And also focuses on the Leeds players all wearing kick it out t-shirts. Obviously, Hull made a very insensitive tweet, and then
stupid tweet that.
Trying to point score on something very serious.
Yeah, and the Hull City social media bloke who runs it all, he privated his account.
Mainly because I saw from the comments Leeds fans found out who he was and started spamming him with stuff. So I imagine that's why he's done that.
Yeah, but they definitely want a good tweet from Hull City.
They got a lot of abuse after the game as well. After Leeds had won from the Leeds fans as well. So it didn't make much sense why they did that.
Yeah. But Elland Meslier played well against Hull. Clean sheet. I'm fine with him being in goal.
Didn't have to do much.
Didn't have to do much. But what he did do, it was fine.
Yeah.
And we just need to get behind him now. A lot of pressure on him, but hopefully he does well. And promising signs so far. So hopefully, Elland Meslier has a good run into the end of the season. Now on to some other news then. And for the third year running, Calvin Phillips has been nominated for the PFA Community Player of the Year. Brilliant stuff there.
Got the kind of golden boy with his with his beaming smile. Yep, he's a very, very popular lad with even fans of other clubs. You see, saw fans of I think it was a Middlesbrough fan and his daughter were chatting with Calvin Phillips after the Boro game. He said he was a really nice guy. Spends a lot of time doing stuff in the community for the club. I remember it wasn't last Christmas before he did a bit of work in a homeless shelter, kind of giving food out and things like that. So he does a lot of stuff for the club and in the community, and he's well liked by our fans certainly, and by other fans of other clubs. Hopefully he'll win it. It'd be lovely to have him win it.
Yeah, I love Calvin Phillips, and hopefully he does win it.
We met him. He's a nice guy.
Also, something worth mentioning: John Bon Jovi, lead singer of the band Bon Jovi, the rock band.
That was really weird.
He's a Leeds and Bamford fan, isn't he?
He's not a Leeds fan. He's just specifically a Patrick Bamford fan.
So last Wednesday morning, if you didn't hear it on TalkSport in the morning, Laura Woods, the presenter, was going through what links John Bon Jovi with English football, and the name that kept cropping up was Patrick Bamford. Apparently Bamford is a really big Bon Jovi fan and went to a Bon Jovi gig in, I think it was 2012, when they were performing at the Etihad Stadium, of course home of Manchester City, and he's a big fan of Bon Jovi. Ended up sending a message of inspiration to Bamford before that Borough game, saying, "I hold your paycheck. If you play well, you get it. If you don't play well, you don't get it." It was just so bizarre, wasn't it?
I mean, yeah, it was just really odd. It was just just the kind of weird thing you experience on Leeds social media. Yeah, it's strange, especially given Bamford's like 25. You'd think he'd be a bit on the young side to be a Bon Jovi fan.
Yeah.
I mean,
I'm a Bon Jovi fan, to be fair.
I'm not
a raving Bon Jovi fan, but I like the music.
I'm not a fan of Bon Jovi's music. Find it to be a bit too American for me.
Fair enough.
For this style of music, but yeah, whatever. I mean, it's not negative; it's positive. So you just kind of.
It was just so bizarre. Though. Imagine Patrick Bamford waking up on the Wednesday morning. It's like John Bon Jovi's talking.
I just remember seeing it and thinking that's really weird.
Yeah,
you just keep scrolling, don't you?
It was so bizarre,
just a bit odd.
And I loved all the Leeds fans, putting Leeds players into song lyrics. So Gianni used to work on the docks. Gianni Alioski.
It wouldn't surprise me if Alioski had previously worked on some docks.
But yeah, worth mentioning that. That was really, really funny. And finally, next month's clash with Blackburn Rovers away at Ewood Park. It has been selected for Sky Sports broadcast, surprise, surprise. And it will now kick off at 7:45pm on Friday the 3rd of April. It was originally going to be played on Saturday the 4th of April, but now it's been moved to the night before. Another game on Sky Sports. Great for people who aren't going to it, but...
Sky Sports Leeds.
Yeah, Sky Sports Leeds.
I mean, I'm not going to this game, so it doesn't really affect me. But we are playing... on the Friday. I imagine everyone else will be playing on the Saturday, so we get to play first, which means if we can win it, then we put pressure on everybody else. Because I was kind of sick of Forest being given games in hand because they get the fixtures moved about, so it's nice to just, it'd be nice to put a bit of a gap in there and then put pressure on teams below us because they might crumble under that. So
yeah, and it worked well on Saturday, didn't it? Because we
were
the early kick-off, so Yeah, he worked well there. But yeah, another game there selected for Sky TV broadcast. Well, now let's look ahead to Leeds United's next game. It's a West Yorkshire derby against Huddersfield Town at Elland Road on Saturday with kick-off at 3 p.m. Charles, we better beat these lot. We better beat these lot.
The thing is, though, like, I don't care about Huddersfield. So when we beat them, it means nothing to me. But how smug and annoying they are when they beat us.
It's their cup final, isn't it?
Yeah, I really want us to win. Mainly just to look and mug them off. Yeah, we beat them 2-0 early in the season. It was kind of ALAW and Hernandez scoring. It wasn't a brilliant performance. That we were missing Calvin Phillips in that game, and it's to be seen whether Phillips is back to full fitness because he looked a bit. They didn't look 100% against Hull. I didn't think. I thought he looked like he was still carrying it a little bit.
Yeah.
Hopefully he's back to 100% against Huddersfield.
Well, he should be. He's had a week, hasn't he?
Yeah, he's had a week. It's only a kind of a dead calf and a slight knock. They're not brilliant. They're in a bit of a resurgence at the moment. They've won a couple of games. They slapped Charlton about at the weekend.
But they're not having a great season, though, are they?
Oh no, because they didn't sack Sievert or however you pronounce it, Jan Sievert, their previous manager. They didn't sack him for ages until he had them in the bottom three, and then he sacked him.
Yeah. And then they brought Danny Cowley in, of course, along with his assistant and brother Nicky Cowley. But yeah, they're not having a great season. 17th in the league table on 42 points. 5 places and 4 points above the relegation zone. They're inconsistent at the moment. 3 wins, 1 draw and 2 losses in the last 6 league games, which is decent to be fair. And they have won the last 2 games. They beat Bristol City 2-1 at home and then beat Charlton 4-0 at home. They have some good players though. Alex Pritchard, Bakuna, who's got 6 goals and 5 assists this season. Fraser Campbell with 2 goals and 2 assists this season. Steve Mounier, 8 goals, 1 assist for him this season. And Carlin Grant, their highest goal scorer, with 16 goals this season and 4 assists. So they do have some dangerous players that we need to watch out for.
I remember Grant being supposed to be quite good last time we played him, but he didn't really do much. They've got that Emile Smith-Rowe on loan from Arsenal. He's supposed to be quite a good player.
He's good, yeah.
So we'll have to keep an eye on him. Apparently, whenever he starts, they look much better. I'm looking forward to this. I think it'd be a really good game of football because they're in good form. We're in good form. It's a West Yorkshire derby. I really want us to win it though. I want us to. We've won 4 on the bounce, haven't we? This is the 5th game on the bounce.
Yeah.
I want to win it. I want to get another clean sheet.
Yeah, and we've both got something to play for as well. Huddersfield want to avoid a drop. We want to go up. It's going to be a fascinating game, and as we say, they've won the last 2 games. They're on good form at the moment. They'll want to continue that good form. So it's going to be a really interesting game. It's going to be a good game to watch.
It'd be very funny if all these teams that lower down the league that are working so hard and winning all these games. If it all means nothing because Sheffield Wednesday and Derby get huge point deductions and get dropped into the relegation zone anyway. If it all ends up being meaningless because they get relegated anyway, that'd be hilarious. I would love that.
Of course, whoscored.com. So Huddersfield's strengths, they are very strong at creating chances through individual skill and strong at creating chances using through balls. They are weak at defending set pieces, which we found out when we played them earlier on in the season. They're weak at avoiding individual errors and weak defending against skillful players. We have skillful players, so we're going to have a field day here.
Yeah, you'd hope so, but you never know. I fancy us to win this one.
Yeah. Huddersfield style of play, so they attack down the right, take long shots, play short passes, play with width, to play the offside trap, and they remain with a consistent first 11. So, well-equipped team. They have some decent players. It's certainly going to be a fascinating game on Saturday, of course, a West Yorkshire derby. Now, Leeds, of course, going to Saturday's game, having gone and beaten in 4 wins in a row there. We, as you said, we just hope that we continue this good form. Yeah,
we just need to keep on going. Just take another game off, and then another game off, and then we'll be end of the season before we know it.
This season's gone quick, hasn't it? It just feels like yesterday since we lost the derby in the playoff semi-finals, doesn't it?
Yeah.
But
don't feel that long ago.
Yeah. Of course, Leeds beat Huddersfield Town 2-0 away on December the 7th. First win in 4 meetings there. We lost the previous 3. But will we win here, do you think? What's your score prediction?
I'm going to go for another 2-0. I fancy us for another 2-0.
2-0. You know what? I reckon Huddersfield will score here. I'm going to go 3-1. 3-1. We better win. Bragging rights and all that, we better win. I have a few Huddersfield Town mates, so it'll be fun to just take the mick out of him.
One of my tutors on my degree is a Huddersfield Town fan.
One of my tutors.
I'm one of the guys in my group as well. He's a Huddersfield Town fan, so I'm to mug them off next week.
One of my tutors here at uni is also a Huddersfield Town fan, so it'll be good to take the mick out of him if we do beat him. Hopefully we do beat him. Of course, West Yorkshire derby, bragging rights and all that. So, yeah, hopefully we do win. Me and Charles both going for Leeds wins 2-0. Charles is predicting, and I'm predicting 3-1. So yeah, hopefully United pick up a good result this Saturday. But that does bring us to the end of episode 57 of the All Things Leeds podcast. Thank you very much, as always, to Charles for joining me in the studio.
No worries, mate. Thanks for having me on.
And thank you very much to everyone who has listened or watched. We really do appreciate it. If you enjoyed them, why not subscribe or follow the podcast? Give us a 5-star rating if you are listening on Apple Podcasts. Share the podcast around as well. Make sure to follow All Things Leeds on social media. We are on Facebook, Twitter and Instagram. Search All Things Leeds 1 on Twitter and Instagram. Search All Things Leeds on Facebook. Subscribe to the YouTube channel as well. Search All Things Leeds on there, and also check out the All Things Leeds website. Charles and I, we will be back next week. So for now, take care and we'll speak to you soon.